Hello everyone, this is Grimscribe. Hope you're all doing well. I wanted to start doing some analysis videos from time to time of the stories that we get to hear together, and I wanted to start today with Thomas Ligotti's The Clown Puppet. Now if you haven't heard the story, then you should check out the video prior to this, give it a listen, that's my reading, and then you can give this video a listen and check out some of the concepts I wanted to explore with you all. Feel free to comment on this video. Let me know what you think. I want to hear what you have to say, and I'll try to reply to everything I see. I want to talk about three concepts, and I'll give also a quick overview of the plot. So let's begin. First, the plot. We have an unnamed protagonist. We don't know anything about this guy other than the fact that he thinks that life is full of the most outrageous kind of nonsense. He feels like everything is chaos around him. He doesn't understand the world. He doesn't understand his place in the world. And he just sort of bounces from dead-end job to dead-end job. At each one of these jobs, he's visited by a clown puppet. It's this thing that hangs from the ceiling on strings, kind of hovering there like a pest. It haunts him. It follows him from place to place. It only appears at night. It only appears to him. And if you follow the strings upwards to the ceiling, if you look up to where it's hanging from, you see nothing but a confusion of light and shadow. We don't know what's controlling the clown puppet, but something's got those strings. Now he's visited by it at night. It has seemingly godlike powers. It can do just about anything. He kind of reflects that one time he was bored at a previous job when it appeared, and he asked the thing to produce a diamond the size of a yo-yo, and it reaches right into its pantaloons and pulls out a diamond the size of a yo-yo and starts playing with it like a yo-yo, so it can seemingly do just about anything. Now, he feels like it's there just for him, except his boss shows up, Mr. Vizniak. He is the boss of the medicine shop where our protagonist works. He is drawn there seemingly by hypnosis. The clown puppet disappears to the back room. Mr. Vizniak goes to the back room and is drawn up towards the strings into the ether. He gets to see who controls the strings. And the character realizes that the clown puppet is not just there for him. It's there for others, many others, perhaps everyone. That's the plot of The Clown Puppet. Now let's talk about some concepts. First, I wanted to talk about clowns. You often see them in Ligotti's literature. They're present in many things, and in here, they're actually in the title. So let's talk about clowns. I feel like they represent chaos. They represent the chaos of this formless universe that we live in. The universe existed long before us, and it will exist long after us. It does not go by any conceivable rule that we can ascribe a description to. It is logicless. It is just blowing cosmic winds and storms that buffet us all the time. We are buffeted back and forth. All sorts of things happen to us in our lives that we have little to no control over. The only thing we have control over is our reactions to them. However, we often think that we have a lot of control over these things in our lives. We feel like we can ascribe human attributes to parts of the universe. Things like God or the devil, heaven and hell, providence, right? Goodwill, positive thinking, energy. The clown laughs at all of these things. It laughs at our attempts to put human labels onto the universe that has nothing relating to humanity in it. It existed long before humanity. It will exist long after humanity. Clowns poke fun at this. They also kind of play into this idea that Ligotti has, which is the idea that there is no central power for good or for evil in Ligotti. There is no big baddie. There is no, grand evil god that exists and metes out punishment and justice upon everyone else. There's nothing. Like, example, if you go into Lovecraft, right? If you read Lovecraft, it seems like there is no god in Lovecraft, but if you go to the center of the universe, you'll find the demon sultan Azathoth. He's this vast idiot god that exists at the center of everything. And though it is chaos, there is something there. If you go to the center of Ligotti's universe, you will find nothing. You will find only void. That's what Ligotti is trying to tell you. So, clowns represent that void. We are all middlemen. We exist in a pyramid scheme with no top. When we see godlike creatures in Legati, they are not gods. They are drawn about by the same impulses that draw us. They're just cosmic jesters that have more power than we do. That's it. I also wanted to talk about the concept of a Piro. What is a Piro? It's a type of clown. It is a French invention. It's from I believe, the 18th century, and it is basically a witness to the impurities of man. It's a witness to the filth of mankind. If you look at my prior video, I used a self-portrait by Gustave Doré as the cover art for it. It is a Piro clown. If you look at his face, he looks like a living nightmare. The guy looks like he's seen some serious shit. And he is like a filter for humanity. He's like a filter that draws all the horrible things that we do and say and especially think to ourselves when we feel like no one else is looking. Piro gets to witness all of that. He is the archetypal sad clown, and he witnesses all of the follies, all of the indignities of humanity, all of these terrible thoughts that we have in the dark of our minds when we feel like no one else is listening, no one could possibly hear us. Piro gets to hear us. Piro gets to see us, and that's what makes Piro sad. In this story, Piro doesn't really seem sad as he does sort of asleep. Malignantly dreamy, I think, is how Legati refers to him. And I feel like this Piro is a witness to the mundanity, the chaos of life. He is indifferent, he is callous by all that he has seen. And he's a witness to the silliness of existence. That's why he's a clown. Let's talk about puppets. Puppets. First off, in life, we are puppets and puppeteers alike. Now, what does that mean? We believe that we are puppeteers. We believe that we have control over our existence and that we can kind of dictate how life works and what we want to do in life. It's true, there are a few things that we have control over, but not that much. We really don't have control over very much in our life other than how we react to the things that happen to us. We believe, though, that we have control over much more than we do, and we do not believe that we are puppets. But we are. We are puppets. We have so many factors in our life that control us in different ways, whether it be family, whether it be parents, whether it be the law, or institutions like the government, school, your job, your location, your morals, your spiritual beliefs. And then, of course, you have your own human wants and desires and needs that have to be satisfied, all balanced, all heaving together in this great storm. We are puppets drawn about. That's our life. That's what Legati's trying to say. In this story, the character looks up at the strings and he feels that they are above him as well. Now, authors put things like that in their stories for a reason. They don't choose words randomly. They put them in their stories for a reason. And Legati put that in there to show that, yes, this character is a puppet as well. He is buffeted about. He is drawn from place to place without really knowing why. And so is the apparition that visits him. So we are puppets and puppeteers alike. We often feel like there's nothing telling us what to do in life. We feel like other people are sheep, right? Moving about on a one-way street, and we're the ones that stand alone. We have figured it out. The paradox is that there are over 8 billion people in the world, and they all feel that way. That's the paradox of human existence, is that we are all seemingly special. We are all these unique creatures, and we're crammed together on this lonely rock. That's the paradox of human existence. That's what the puppet and the clown poke fun at. The last thing I wanted to talk about was delusion, and I'm talking about delusion with a capital D. The delusion that I'm talking about is sort of the delusion that you see present in Buddhism, and it is the idea that you have a fundamental understanding of the world. You have this sort of half-baked enlightenment. You feel like you get it. You feel like you've made some sort of headway, so you stop making headway, and that becomes your primary vehicle for viewing the world. And because of that, it muddies the waters. Now, in Buddhism and religions like that, That's worse than not having any understanding at all, than being a blank slate. The worst thing you can do is have half-baked enlightenment. You can understand a little bit of the world, and then because of that, you feel like you get it all, and you never make any more progress, and you muddy your own waters. In this story, I feel that our character is deluded because he believes that the world is nonsense. He believes that he is not special, that he is just an ant like everyone else. But he's got one thing going for him. This clown puppet. He is haunted by this throughout his whole life. It visits him. It comes only to him. It is his special malignity. It is his special misfortune. It makes him unique. It's the only thing he's got going for him. And he discovers at the end that he doesn't even get that. He's like, well, shit. That was the only thing I had going for me. I don't even get my own misfortune. That's the message. That this misfortune is meted out impartially to everybody. And that we are not special. That's what Ligotti is trying to get at. Thanks so much for listening. I'm really glad to be able to share my ideas with you and my concepts. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You can go ahead and, like I said, comment below. I will do my best to respond to every comment. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about the future of this channel and some of my plans. So first off, of course, I want to keep making original content, and I want to keep reading stories as well. I want to keep producing that stuff for you guys. I'm also, though, going to go back to some of my older videos, and I'm going to reread those stories. Now, I'm not going to delete those older videos, but if you go back and look at some of the very first videos in this channel, they are some of Ligotti's best stories, in my opinion. They are some of my favorites. That's why I chose them first, because I really liked them. The problem was that I didn't really know that much about audio mixing or sound production at that time. I was just, during the pandemic, I was sitting in an empty room yelling at a MacBook, basically. And I didn't have any filters or any, booths or anything like that. And I want to go back and I want to give these the proper treatment that they deserve. Because if you go and listen to them, like Teatro Grotesco, for example, it gets views all the time. It sounds like I recorded it on a McDonald's speaker and then dubbed it onto a cassette in a windstorm. It sounds like crap, and I want to give it the proper treatment that it deserves. Again, I won't delete that video, but I'm going to kind of do like a remastered version of it. So that's what's coming down the pipe next, is Teatro Grotesco. I'm really excited to share that with you. So thank you all for listening. I'll see you in the next one.